Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode. Today, we're traveling 5,000 years into the past. We're talking about a civilization that, when Greece and Rome were still distant dreams, was already building the unimaginable. Of course, we're talking about ancient Egypt. With me is Dr. Silva. Doctor, where do we begin this monumental story?
Hello, Alex. Everything begins with a river. The Nile was the center of this rising civilization. It was literally a matter of life or death. If the annual flood didn't come, there would be famine. If it came too strong, it would destroy everything. It was in this setting that the first pharaoh of the first dynasty, Menes, emerged. He not only unified Upper and Lower Egypt, but also drove the construction of the first dam in recorded history.
A dam 5,000 years ago? That sounds impossible.
And it was an audacious engineering feat. Menes built a massive 15-meter-high barrier around the new capital, Memphis, to protect it from flooding. While Menes's dam has been lost to history, we do have ruins of another ancient dam called Sad el-Kafara, which gives us clues about how they built these structures. Huge stone walls filled with gravel and rock. It was a project requiring incalculable labor, since they didn't think in terms of machines, only human strength.
Incredible. But when we think of Egypt, we think of pyramids. Did they appear overnight?
Not at all. It was a long process of trial and error, often disastrous. It truly began with Pharaoh Djoser and his architect Imhotep around 2667 BC. Imhotep revolutionized architecture by building the first funerary complex entirely of stone instead of mud brick. He stacked mastabas, rectangular tombs, one on top of another, creating the step pyramid at Saqqara.
So Imhotep was the pioneer, but what about those smooth, perfect pyramids we see on postcards?
To reach that point, Egypt needed Pharaoh Sneferu. He was the father of the true pyramid, but the journey was tough. His pyramid at Meidum partially collapsed because the outer casing didn't adhere properly to the inner steps. He tried again at Dashur with the bent pyramid. Mid-construction, the structure began to crack, and engineers had to drastically change the angle to prevent a total collapse.
Bent pyramid. Sounds like a cute nickname for an engineering disaster.
Exactly. But Sneferu didn't give up. On his third attempt, he built the Red Pyramid. His engineers learned from their mistakes, using a more gradual angle and superior limestone blocks. It became the first true, perfectly shaped pyramid ever constructed, paving the way for the Great Pyramid of Giza that would come later.
Moving forward in time, Egypt wasn't just architecture, it was also military power. How did that affect engineering?
We see that clearly in the Middle Kingdom with Pharaoh Senesret III. He wanted Nubia's gold and had no mercy on his enemies. To control the region, he built a network of massive fortresses. The fortress of Buhan, for example, stretched nearly the length of 2 football fields and featured moats and double walls. Defensive technology far ahead of its time. Unfortunately, these fortresses are now underwater in Lake Nasser.
Fascinating. Now we have to talk about a brilliant and controversial figure, Hatshepsut, a woman who ruled as a king.
Yes, she had to change gender in official art to be taken seriously, even wearing the traditional false beard. Her mortuary temple at Deir el-Bahri is a masterpiece designed by her architect and possibly lover, Senenmut. Along with the temple, she erected enormous obelisks. Imagine extracting a single block of granite and transporting it down the Nile. They used the river's flood to move these massive loads by boat without running aground.
And after her, we had the heretic pharaoh, Akhenaten. He tried to change everything, right?
Absolutely everything. He changed the religion to worship only the solar disk, Aten, and built a new capital from scratch, Amarna. Engineering had to adapt to his impatience. They invented small blocks called talatat that one person could carry, allowing extremely fast construction. But it was a turbulent period, and after his death, his successors tried to erase him, destroying his statues and his city.
To wrap up, we can't forget Ramses the Great.
The greatest builder of them all. His temple at Abu Simbel is colossal. It was carved directly into a sheer mountainside. The facade has 4 statues of him, each 21 meters tall.
And the most amazing part of Abu Simbel is the modern story, right?
Yes. In the 1960s, the construction of the Aswan High Dam threatened to submerge the temple. An international team had to cut the entire temple into blocks and move it to higher ground. It was a miracle of modern engineering saving ancient engineering.
Dr. Silva, what can we conclude about these Egyptian engineers?
They redefined the limits of what is possible. Without cranes or computers, using only natural materials, organization, and belief in the divine nature of their leaders, they created monuments that defy time. They truly invented engineering.
Thank you so much for this conversation, Doctor, and thank you to everyone listening. See you next time.